Hello, everyone, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's preview as the Lions host the Bulls this weekend. Bulls obviously top of the table. Lions still fighting to try and remain in the competition, getting their first win of Super Rugby Unlocked last weekend against the Griquas. So the big Gauteng derby, everything's played for. Lots of pride, lots of sort of minor battles, so players playing against their former teams. Everything's played for this weekend, and I think that the team selections, represent that. But before we get into the team selection itself and the big news, David Hunt for the Bulls as well, and one change for the Lions, and a very notable change actually. But before we get into that, please do consider subscribing, bottom right hand corner there. Please also do smash like on the video. Jump in the comments, let me know what you think of the teams and what you think is going to happen this weekend. Right, so a big match for both teams, and you've got the Bulls who are sort of on track, especially if the Cheetahs don't manage to beat the Sharks tomorrow. On track to possibly win the Super Rugby, and that just comes from two immense performances after what was initially quite a sketchy start. Managed to get past the Griquas, then got beaten by the Cheetahs. The Cheetahs obviously have been very sort of, not necessarily hard done by, but have been dealt a major blow with the fact that they had to share those points against the Lions, where it could have been a win for them given the fact that the Lions were so depleted. But so the Bulls at this stage are the favourites to win Super Rugby Unlocked, and a win on Saturday would just sort of cement their dominance really. And mean that the other units already have to do something special to knock them over. But obviously, also this means more than just Super Rugby. This runs into Currie Cup. So for the Lions, it's vital that they continue to be in that top four position, so that they can get that semi-final and final when it comes to the Currie Cup in sort of after the Super Rugby Unlocked and into January itself. So some big everything to play for really this weekend. And if you look at the sides, we'll start with the Bulls. It is a very, very typical Jake White side because Walt Steenkamp, who's just arrived from the Cheetahs, an immense player, literally like physically immense, comes straight into the starting lineup for the Bulls in what is a very, very physical pack, and that is what Jake White likes to do. He is someone that likes to assert dominance, and having someone who's 120 kgs and over 2 meters tall, that Walt Steenkamp is, means that he can do exactly that. And it's a pack that's there to try and bully the Lions, just try and dominate them, and just try and dominate the up front, and then let Ivan van Zyl and Morne stay and just sort of run the game. And I think, if you're looking there, I think you've got to look at the loose trio, for example. I think Marco Verstappen, Albert Lowe, and Duane Vermeulen have been fantastic. I think Albert Lowe, particularly, is someone I'd like to single out, because I think, when he came in for Arno Botha, jeepers, he did step up, and he's filled in a big hole, and he's just a hard worker, brings a lot of physicality. Duane Vermeulen, we know exactly what you get from him, and you get the same thing week in, week out. Mr. Consistency. Him and probably Steven Kitso are probably the two most consistent players in the country. But I'd like to look at Ivan van Zyl because I think that he is someone who's really, really stepped up recently and playing a very different game to what we're used to seeing him. And Jake White spoke about the influence of Fourie du Preez, and I think we are seeing it with Ivan van Zyl. He's just looking like a much more versatile scrum half. He always had a reasonable delivery and a good game management ability, but sometimes struggled, to be more attacking, more creative, which is why some people preferred Ambrose Papier. I was also a big Ambrose Papier fan. I think that he's more sort of the modern scrum half, when you think of how exciting they are. You got the likes of Herschel Yankees, you got the likes of now Morne van den Berg, Sanelina Humber, they're sort of those live wire scrum halves, which are always such a fun players to watch, your Factor Kirks. But Ivan van Zyl last weekend looked full of running and looked very energetic. And obviously, Morne Stan was putting on a bit of a masterclass kicking-wise, and it doesn't do much wrong, and even had a very nice try assist with the sort of out the back door pass. So it's a very good side. And I think the centres as well, if you look at them, Cornel Hendricks and Stefan Gans are playing some very nice rugby. And it's good to see Cornel Hendricks back and playing because obviously with all the health issues and stuff like that, somebody whose career almost looked like it was over, but he's really revitalised it and playing quite nicely at centre. You look on the bench, there's obviously still some big players in the likes of Nizam Khan coming off the bench. Imros appear there as well. And I was talking about players playing against their former unions, Jacques Vermeulen playing against the Lions now. Marco Jansen-Vuren also against the Lions. So lots of those sort of battles as well. Which is why, when you think about those battles, it makes the Lions team very interesting because they made just one change to the side that beat the Griquas last weekend, which is Burger Odendaal comes in, and he has got something big to prove. He absolutely slammed the way the Bulls treated him and the way that they let go. The Bulls captain and was just told very abruptly, you're no longer part of our plans. So he was not happy about that. So he's going to have something to prove this weekend. And if he can play like he did against the Stormers, then, it can be a very, very exciting player. And I think that it's a side that bringing with confidence now, obviously putting 61 points past the Pumas, I'm sorry, the Greek was, does do that to a squad. But it's quite an inexperienced pack, I suppose, in many ways. Carlos Sardi, is what, just third season now, playing some very nice rugby, but still quite an experience. Especially compared to the veteran that is sort of Jacques van Rooyen. Steve Satole has been a lot better this weekend. The Super Rugby sort of growing quite a lot as a player. And Jakob Saki did play very well last weekend. But, Ruben Schoolman's still quite young. MJ Pulser, very inexperienced. Vincent Chituka, quite inexperienced. And Len Massain's quite inexperienced. So, yeah, I mean, it's without sort of having a Dwayne Vermeulen within the pack, which is why the likes of Marvin Ory is going to have to step up because he is one of the most experienced players in that pack, and he is playing some nice rugby, but he's going to have to, step up and take charge because that Bulls pack does have a lot of experience. With Trevor, Dwayne, you've got 2 World Cup winners in that pack. It makes a big difference. But where the Lions possibly maybe have an edge is just the excitement that they have in this back line. I think Burger Odendaal is a very good pick. So I think he and Similane should be able to form a very nice pairing. Burger Odendaal, somebody that is good with an offload game, probably a little better than Creel in that sort of regard. Courtney Scosan back with a hat trick last weekend. Stian Pino's full of work. And then Wandasile Similane and Gianni Lombard. Having those two on the pitch with Alton Yankees just means that there are so many players that you can play around. It's so nice. First of all, having the left foot right foot combination that is Lombard and Alton Yankees. I mean, you effectively got 2 10s on the field, and we've seen how effective it was for the Boks to have Willie Leroux. Johnny Lombard offers that, but Wandasile Similane, he's a similar type player. He can create something out of nothing. He's got a fantastic offload game, and he's exciting. He's a bit of a live wire, and I think he's going to have a fantastic battle against Steban Khans, who. Just a year separates them, 2 young outside centers who are really impressing, and it's a chance for them to play against each other and say, right, I'm going to be ahead of you in the sort of the food chain in terms of box selection. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to outplay you. And I think that's going to be pretty much the entire day. If the Lions are going to beat the Bulls, they need to be able to. Every player needs to sit there saying, I need to outplay my opposite number. Which is a big ask because there are some fantastic players in that Bulls side. You've got the likes of Lema saying he's going to have to stand up and say, right, well, I'm going to have to take on Dwayne Vermeulen head on. And it's going to be one of those games where I think, obviously, the way the Bulls are playing and all the experience, they should be favourites. But you can never rule out the Lions because last weekend you started to see glimpses on the side that likes to throw the ball around and can be very destructive. So if they arrive and they pitch up, they can offer a very good test. So I think it's going to go one of 2 ways. I think it's either going to be quite a close game, or I think one side's just going to pitch up and exploit the other. But I think the Bulls are playing too well at the moment to sort of be walked over. So I think it'll either be a close game, or I think the Lions might struggle because they just defensively sometimes have looked a bit weak. But equally offensively, they have looked very bright. And you're going to have Alton Yankees who will try things. He will. I mean, the Bulls will target him, but he will, invite that sort of pressure. He'll put a couple of chips over the top. Similane is also a player that likes to chip and chase. So there's quite a lot of dimensions to the Lions' attack, which the Bulls will have to look out for. The big thing, I think, at the moment is going to be how well the Lions deal with the high balls. I think we're going to see lots of kicking from Warnerstein, especially with the likes of David Creel, who's going to be running on, and there's quite a lot of physicality in the air. So Gianni Lombard really is going to get tested under the high ball a lot on Saturday, which will be very interesting to see how he fares. So jump in the comments. Let me know what you think in terms of score predictions. Who are you backing this weekend? Obviously, I'm going to have to go with the Lions. I am a Lions fan, so I'm always going to have to try and back them. Let me know what you think. I want to know what your last thoughts are. Please, as I said, please do consider subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner there. Smash a like if you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you very soon. More previews, reactions, and everything like that right here on Forever Sports. My name is Stephen Pettit. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.